Alright, so after my last video telling people how to get 100% in the game and to unlock all the pictures, some people were asking for a video on how to get the special ending, so here it is. You want to start a new game of DDLC. Alright, so I'll enter my name. I'm going to be skipping through a lot of the content because if I don't, this video is going to be several hours long, so... Okay, so this is the first day, nothing really that interesting happens. I'll skip to the part where you have to write a poem. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create 4 save files. And in each save file, we are going to try to get one girl's route. So what I'm going to do is, in this save file, I think I'll go for the Yuri route in Act 1. In case you're wondering, you don't need to go for the routes in one file. I mean, if you want to, you could write the first poem for Sayori, then the next one for Natsuki, and then for Yuri. And in another file, write it Yuri, Natsuki, Sayori. But I just find it easier to focus on one girl in one file. So the poem words for Yuri are usually the largest and the most complex. So it's comparatively easy to write a poem for her, so let's start with that. You don't need to have every single word be for the girl you're trying to make happy. Like, if we're trying to go on the Yuri route, we just need the majority of them to be Yuri words, the words we pick, and it's not necessary that all of them are words that Yuri likes. If you do want the perfect poem achievement, then yeah, you do need to pick just the words that Yuri likes, but this isn't a video about that. So that was the first cutscene we got. And you'll know if you wrote a poem for the girl because you'll get a cutscene with the girl on the next day. So we got one with Yuri where we were reading together. Right here, though, I should pick Yuri because I'm trying to go down the Yuri route. There is an achievement if you ask for Sayori's help. So I should point out, but we can get that in the Sayori route. Again, I'm going to go ahead and pick words for Yuri. Or at least try to. I make a few mistakes along the way. So yeah, if we get a cutscene with Yuri, that means we did it right, and we did make a poem focused on Yuri. So yeah, here's the other cutscene, and so that means we made the poem right. We're going down the Yuri route, so I'll choose to walk home with Yuri. And this is the last poem you have to make, so this is also going to be focused on Yuri. there won't be a cutscene on the third day. I should point that out. Because the last cutscene you can get for every girl comes later on. But there is an achievement for writing all 3 poems for one girl, and you unlock some stuff, so I would suggest you do it this way. Here, if you suggest that you want to go with Sayori and Monica first, before picking someone, then, again, you get another achievement, so that's what I did. Because in the end, you have to go with Yuri or Natsuki. There are only really 2 choices. So if you pick Yuri to help you over the weekend, or rather you're helping Yuri, then you will get her third cutscene, which is this one. So yeah. And you've gotten all the cutscenes for Yuri now. Now, the important thing is that you do not want to start Act 2. The scene where Sayori dies, you do not want to trigger that, because if you do, the game will delete your other save files, and if you want to go back, you'll have to reset the game. So now I'm going to go make a save, and I just wanted to go to the main menu to show you that in the game folder there is a document called poemwords.txt. So if you're wondering which words each girl likes and you're having trouble with that, then you can look this up, or it's honestly just easier to look up a guide on the internet, but I mean, if you don't have access to that, you can always go ahead with that document. So right, you do not want Act 2 to start, so remember to save the game on the day of the festival before you discover Sayori. Because once you discover Sayori, you will not be able to go back and do the other parts unless you reset the base game. So for this second route, I think I'll go ahead and go for Natsuki. Natsuki prefers cute words, and it's kind of difficult to tell Natsuki's and Sayori's words apart. So you might want to guide if this is your first time playing DDLC. Or you might just want to check that chart which I showed you. Well, not chart exactly, that file I showed you earlier. So yeah, let's see if we were correct and we got the Natsuki route. Yep, seems like it. We got this cutscene, so we've got her first cutscene. So we did make that poem correctly. Now the rest of the game is going to be pretty much the same, so I'm skipping through it just like I did last time. Okay, here I'll side with Natsuki. So this is the second day and the second poem. Again, you can make more than just 3 save files. I didn't, but if you feel like you might make a mistake in the poem game, you can always make another save file. Alright, I made some mistakes, but I still think that was a Natsuki poem. Let's see what happens the next day. Yep, we got this cutscene with Natsuki, so yeah. That was a Natsuki poem. And this is the third and final poem we have to write for Natsuki. Again, it won't unlock a CG for her on the third day. We'll only get the last CG on the day she comes over to help us. In case you're wondering, it doesn't matter ever in which order you pick the poems. You might get like one line of dialogue different, but it really doesn't make a difference. So we want to help Natsuki over the weekend, and that's where we'll get the last scene of her. Right, so that was the last scene where we're holding her. So we're basically done with her route for the purposes of this guide. So we can go ahead and save this file and load our third file. Also, you don't need to overwrite them necessarily. I'm doing that just to save on space, but you can save it in other slots if you want. So for this third file slot, we are going to be going for Sayori's route. Right, so this is the first cutscene we get with Sayori. So that means we were successful in writing a Sayori poem. If you mess up, you can always go back and start a new save file. There's no real penalty for going back and starting again, unless Act 2 starts, in which case you won't be able to go back. But that's after you walk in on Sayori on the day of the festival, so as long as that doesn't happen, you can always go back. And even if that does happen, you can reset the game to the base settings. So we wrote 3 poems for Sayori, and that's the last poem we need to write to get the special ending. Oh wait, sorry, this was the second poem. I kinda just went ahead. Okay, so you get that cutscene with her, and there's still another poem we have to write. Let's walk home with Sayori, and this is the last poem we have to write. But there won't be a cutscene on this third day. However, in the end, you're going to have to spend the weekend with someone, and that would either be Natsuki or Yuri. That doesn't matter for the purposes of this guide, so you have to pick one. But like I said, you do unlock a picture if you ask to help Monika and Sayori before you pick one of them. So I've already done that in an earlier file, but if you haven't, then you should do it in one file. Here, tell Sayori that you love her, and then you'll unlock the final cutscene. So yeah, this is the last one you need to get, and now you have the cutscenes on 3 different files. And if you're wondering what the 4th one is for, there's an achievement in which you write a different poem for each girl. One for Yuri, one for Natsuki, one for Sayori. It can be in any order, so that's why I made a 4th one. I won't be doing that in this guide because I think you guys have gotten the hang of it, and it's not necessary for the special ending. For the special ending, you just need to do what I've done up till now. And that's it. Now that you have those 3 save files, you need to go ahead and play the game normally. And in the final act, after you delete Monika, Sayori will come and she'll acknowledge that you wanted to spend time with everyone. Then you'll get Monika's letter and also Dan Salvato's special letter for getting the special ending. And that is how you get the special ending. Thanks for watching, guys.